Peace, everybody. Welcome to the BigHouse Breakdown. It's Penn State week. Not bad. Here we go. That's right. Statement game week at the BHB at the Big House Breakdown. It is Penn State week. That's right. You saw it in the advertisement. It's time to talk about our Michigan Wolverines versus the Penn State Cootie Cats. Back with us. Sorry about that. Back with us is Adam from Michigan Football Rants. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing all right, man. I had to run and feed the dog and walk the German Shepherd, make sure he was good, and so he won't come around and interrupt what we trying to get going here. And how's everything on your end of the woods in the Lone Star State?
Yeah, doing all right. Just trying to get over something. Something's been kind of like running through work, so it's kind of finally hit me, and so I've just been trying to get over that.
Yeah, man. Everybody in New York is masked up. You know what I mean?
Oh, not shocking.
I'm not doing it, but every time you walk somewhere, where there's a group of people, everybody's putting on the mask and acting like people got the cooties, But we're here to talk about them Penn State Cootie Cats, man. Yeah, man. It's Penn State week, statement game that's going to reverberate around the college football atmosphere. Wouldn't rather do it with anybody but you. But there's some business to take care of, man.
Right.
We gotta stand on business right now. Because we didn't want to do this in a couple of episodes before when you got on.
Right.
But now I think it's time to actually address it and put some fire to some fannies. You with me?
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, sir. So we're here to talk about this, man. We're going to do our ish talking segment first. And why? Because, there's been a political hit job going on. And, they're trying to put the smear game and the kibosh on our Michigan Wolverines with scandal and innuendo and hearsay. And I'm here for it. If the national media isn't here for it, I'm here for it. Like I told Adam, been a Michigan fan since, knee high. Ricky Powers, Desmond Howard, the whole piece. Can't let this go without it being properly addressed. Your thoughts real quick about the political smear job that's happening and your thoughts. Go ahead.
I think it's sad, to be quite honest. I mean, all it's really done is proven that the Big Ten is filled with nothing but cowards. I mean, even if so everything that I've even seen or heard is that the Big Ten has a videotape that they can't really see anything. They have eyewitness report from somebody anonymous who can't identify or even substantiate that the person that was sitting in that seat had anything to do with Michigan. And then they have a bunch of Big Ten coaches crying and bitching about that this guy has to do something because it's not fair. And it's just, it's shocking to me. Because, Michigan then produces facts and proof that Ohio State and Rutgers did indeed have our signs down, and they gave it to Purdue. And if I'm crazy, I don't think I'm crazy in this, but Ohio State, Rutgers, and Purdue all got beat down by Michigan. All three of them allowed 40 or more points against Michigan. So if you have our signs, either sign stealing is integral to you winning a game, or it's not. And I think Michigan proved that because three teams had our signs and couldn't even crack 30 points on us.
Right. Let's talk about it. So we're in the ish talking segment. People throwing ish and hoping it sticks. So Adam is talking about the court of public opinion trying to kill the Michigan program softly by the character in the middle is Jimmy Neutron. So Jimmy for Jimmy Harbaugh, Jimmy Neutron, womp womp. So court of public opinion is trying to kill the Michigan program softly. And one thing I want to get to is the fakery of it all.
Yeah.
Here's where it's all about money. Here's where it's all about retaining jobs. Here's where it's all about pushing your particular media brand to get eyeballs on your videos or your page or your streaming outlet. They always cry and talk about they don't want to hurt the kids.
Right.
Well, if you don't want to hurt the kids, then you know how minuscule stealing signs is to the outcome of a game. You know that. And why do you know that? Because it's still 11 on 11, and you still got to line up and punch the dude across from you in the mouth and win the game.
Yeah,
your thoughts?
No, I agree. It's just every player that's come out, every coach has come out, they all say stealing signs isn't a big deal. And I mean, for God's sakes, if it was just, why don't we just get to the putting the what is it, the microphones and the helmets and just get it over with. You know what I mean? Like, that'll solve all this, and we won't have to worry about any of this crap.
Right. It'll be insignificant at that point because you're getting the messages directly to your quarterback or to your linebacker or whoever your signal callers are. And, then the village people can come on the sideline and do YMCA and it wouldn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the second one, man. Proof is in the pudding, the FBS mess. So did you hear about Lane Kiffin?
No. Oh, wait. I heard something about him yelling at someone or something.
Yeah, he's telling kids that he's going to boot them off the team and, they're insignificant to the program. And, I mean, you're talking about stealing signs, but you got coaches from Northwestern and Lane Kiffin, who's a notable head coach, threatening kids.
Yeah.
But we don't see the guillotine coming out for Lane Kiffin.
No. Well, because the SEC.
Come on, man. I thought it was all about player safety.
Yeah, right. Well, the one that keeps screaming the player safety angle, funny enough, is Michigan State. Michigan State still said that they're shocked that 11 Michigan politicians would support Michigan because of due process. And they're like, well, last year in the tunnel incident, we didn't get due process. There's physical and video proof of 10 or more Michigan State guys hitting a defenseless person in the head with helmets. I don't know what more due process you need than it was signed, sealed, and delivered. They're guilty. I mean, I don't know what investigation do you need to know that those guys were physically assaulting innocent people. And
yeah, man, we just got somebody join us on the Twitch channel. Peace, welcome to the BigHouse Breakdown, all things Michigan football, FBS football. We're on with Adam from Michigan Football Rants. This is the BigHouse Breakdown, and tell us how you feel about the recent allegations. You can even join the StreamYard banner at the bottom, or you can put it in the chat. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what is going on in your mind in relation to this. We are just talking right now on the BigHouse Breakdown. Go ahead, Adam, finish.
I think it's just ridiculous. I mean, Tony, but I call him Tony Big Titties. He's gonna have a very short-lived career.
I love it. I'm here for it.
He's gonna have a very short-lived career as a Big Ten commissioner. He keeps this up. To get pushed around by 13 other teams. And let's face it, man, the Big Ten, there's only two. And I'll be nice enough to say there's three Big Ten teams that mean anything to overall view of college football. And I know everybody's got to have a voice and you got to listen. To me, I think they should all just shut the fuck up and just deal with it. Because if Michigan leaves, who's clamoring for a Wisconsin-Iowa matchup? Nobody. There's no TV contract in the world that people are going to be like, oh, do you have any more of that Indiana-Purdue matchup? Nobody.
Right. Now, see, that was one of my talking concepts. that collusion might ruin the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But Michigan is its cash cow. And what if Santaono said, "Hey, let's check out that SEC. That's a sexy conference."
Well, dude, I got
What everybody's trading places, right? So what if Michigan just went ahead and became the second best team in the SEC like overnight?
I'll be honest, dude. I got
You know what I'm saying?
I had a conspiracy theory, a fun conspiracy theory episode that I did about this,
Go ahead,
and
break it down.
I didn't think it would ever come true, but it could. This is what I was pushing forward. The Pac-12 go to USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon. Say, listen, if we can get Michigan, don't go to the Big Ten. Bounce on your contracts or whatever you agree to. We'll go to Fox because I think the president or one of the managing directors of Fox Sports is a Michigan grad. So you go there, try to get some TV contracts away from the Big Ten. You keep the Pac-12 together. You just add Michigan. And guess who else will come because they want to be relevant? Ohio State. There's no way Ohio State.
They got no choice.
They're not going to stay in a Big Ten that doesn't have Michigan and is going to lose national prominence because their greatest rival now is Michigan State. It ain't going to happen. So the Pac-12 should really try to do everything they can to keep all the teams they have, add Michigan, and then see if they can get Ohio State to jump as well. And then that way you can fuck the Big Ten, and the Big Ten can go the way of like the Big East.
Right. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. I'm with you. I believe that that's a possibility. I think that, now that would be the ultimate form of collusion, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be great. And then you could stick
hey, my man, get your people, I'll get my people,
right,
and we can go and be a part of the SEC. And you know what I mean? Big Ten be damned. You know what I'm saying? So
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
you can tell Big Titties to go shove it, and he can become the worst Big Ten. And dude, he could be known as the commissioner that ruined the Big Ten.
So the interesting part about it is he's controlled or he's mandated by a bylaw that the NCAA has to complete their investigation before he can do anything.
Right.
So if he rules on Harbaugh in any of the weeks to come, he's going to lose his leverage as a Big Ten director, CEO, whatever his title is, because he's breaking laws. And then, of course, Santaono and the Michigan lawyer bullies are all ready to jump on top of that. You know what I mean?
It already happened. He suspended Harbaugh for the rest of the season. It just came out. But this is how weak he is.
Whoa. Are you serious? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, dude, it just dropped. Like
what time today?
Just like an hour ago.
What? I was feeding my dog.
Yeah, dude, it's
wow, seriously?
Yeah, so he dropped it right before Michigan got on the plane to go to Happy Valley like a pussy. And then also
wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, so Harbaugh and Michigan has replied and said they're going to go for an injunction, which I have no doubt they'll get. But what the suspension is, and it goes to show you what kind of a pussy this big titties guy really is, because he can coach throughout the whole week. He just can't be on the sideline of the game. So he can legitimately coach from the press box. So he can coach from the press box. He can coach throughout the whole week. He just can't be on the sideline. Tell me you're a pussy without telling me you're a pussy. And that's exactly what this suspension is. It's laughable at best.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So what does these Big Ten coaches have on big titties, like you said? Dude, what do they have on him?
I think Big Titties is just a pussy. I think he just didn't know how to be a commissioner. I guess he was some TV executive or something like that. So he doesn't know how to deal with coaches. And what he did was he thought he was hot shit. He got 13 people to talk shit about Michigan, said, oh, we have all this evidence. We have this and we have that. Even the NCAA has come out and said that there's no real evidence right now that connects Harbaugh to Connor Stallions and all this. So Well, I don't get, and then they're attacking him over like the sportsmanship angle. Well, if that's the case, then suspend Ohio State and Ohio State, Purdue, and Rutgers coaches because they have proof. They have actually, to be quite honest, Michigan has more proof than those teams have on us code stealing. We have like uh, uh, spreadsheets. We've got screenshots. They have our cards, for God's sakes. They have everything. So that does way worse than what they're accusing us of.
So what happens if Jim Harbaugh decides he's not going to follow Petitti's rule? What happens?
I think what happens is that if I think he's got to wait until the university gets the injunction from a court in Michigan, and then once they get that, he'll just coach like normal.
Right, because he can ignore it based on the lawful redirect. Yeah. So, but yo, you want to talk about a team playing with their hair on fire? I feel sorry for Penn. I feel sorry for Penn State tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for them.
True.
Why give that good of a team more motivation? Pour more gasoline on the fire.
I don't know, man. I think
so. This is what they effectively have done.
Yeah.
So you remember Freddy Krueger? His skin was all burnt up because he was in that furnace and
all of
that. You just turned Michigan into they were the villain this week. Now they're Freddy Krueger.
It's true.
You just poured gasoline on an already team that was seething.
Yeah.
With resentment over the way they're being treated in a championship style season.
Yeah, dude, and it's just going to come back to bite them in the ass. I really hope. I just hope it does. I mean,
hey, maybe that conference jump isn't so bad of an alternative as you know. Now, well, I didn't know that they came down with the ruling. I didn't think it would be anything till next week because of because we're on the eve of these games and you got to have things move along the way they're supposed to. But I think Petitti was like, hey, they can win with their assistant coaches.
Well, I mean,
we've done it earlier, you know.
Yeah, and a true pussy move. He waits until now to do it, right before they get on the plane to go. He's like, "Oh yeah, here you go." What?
Wow!
I mean, just a weak dude move. It's just awful.
I think it's awful too, and this is Game of Thrones ish to me.
Yeah.
You're trying to put the man's head on a spike. You know what I mean? You're trying to kill the king's son. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're trying to stab the dragon. The collusion and the politics. These people don't want to play ball because they know Michigan got that smoke. They want politics, not football. And that's what's sad about it. Because the histrionics behind Michigan and all these Big Ten teams getting together and playing in this conference as deep as the history goes is because the universities had a little bit of conflict and said, let's just decide those conflicts on the field.
Right.
Little brown jug and this and that, right? All of these histrionics said, hey, instead of us being violent with each other like the Hatfields and the McCoys, let's settle it on the gridiron, right?
Yep.
But that's not good enough anymore.
Well, I just think I don't know who brought this. I don't know if it was Ohio State or whatever, but it's embarrassing. Watching ESPN trip over themselves to blast Harbaugh and all this when they're saying, oh, it's shocking that all of a sudden they became good. And you're like, are you nuts? In 2015, we won 9 games, 9 or 10 games. We won pretty much 9 or 10 games every year except for 2017 and 2020. Every other year, it was 9 or 10 games we've won. So we're awful. And look at all the people we put into just recently off the 2021 team that we put into the NFL that are killing it right now.
Right. That's cheating as well. That our wide receiver is starting for the San Francisco 49ers right now.
Right.
That's cheating.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. Nico Collins, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, he's killing it
DJ
in Texas.
Turner.
I'm enjoying following him. He's killing it in Texas. I love watching. I like, damn, could we have done some of that when he was here?
That's actually, to be quite honest, that's the real crime, is that we wasted DPJ and we wasted Nico Collins all on the same team, and we did nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing with that.
Yeah.
That's the true crime.
I think we might have had the wrong coordinator. That was probably that might have been the issue for the most part.
Sure.
We need man. But let's jump into it, man. Let's get into the next segment, man. We are here for this right here, Penn State week, statement week. We are talking about these Penn State Cootie Cats. And one thing that I have a tremendous problem with is this here. Poor preview and game analysis. Are you on that page with me, man? Have you listened to this toilet paper wipe of analysis of this game coming up?
Yeah, like that Josh Pate, he's been on Penn State all season.
Yeah.
So it doesn't shock me that he's still trying to make this a thing. I mean, Feinbaum, no matter what, he's always going to bag on Michigan, so it doesn't matter. But Pate usually knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. The fact that he is still all over Penn State, I guess it's kind of shocking to me. But, I mean, I guess there is a percentage, a 10% chance that Michigan could lose this thing.
So, I like what you said, 10%. So, let's talk about it, man. If I hear one more announcer come on and talk about how weak Michigan's schedule was and not talk X's and O's, I know I'm going to become a Twitter troll. And just troll the hell out of their channels, because that makes no sense based on what people do on the football field. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, look at a good example of that is look at Clemson. Clemson won how many national titles in a weak ass ACC? They played no one all season long, and then when it mattered, they beat the shit out of people. That's all that matters. Is when you play good teams, what do you do when you play good teams?
You beat the pool out of them, man.
Yeah, so this is a chance for Michigan to actually say, okay, you want to doubt us, then fine. We're going to put, and if they can, if it runs the way I think it should, if Michigan gets a chance, they should put as many points as possible on Penn State, just to leave no doubt in anybody's mind about how good Michigan really is.
So I want to get to something, man, and this is really pissing me the hell off. So let's talk about it. If I hear one more announcer come on and talk about the Penn State whiteout, and like the ghost of Joe Pa is going to come out of the crowd and ignite a Penn State mythical victory.
I know.
Come on, my guy. You should be able to play football in a phone booth. You should be able to play football on a cow patch. You should play football is football is football. The whiteout should not be that much of a determinant. If you need a whiteout to help your team play, then guess what? Your team about to get mopped up. Your thoughts?
I agree. I think actually Penn State's record in whiteout games, they're 8-6 in a full stadium whiteout game. They're 10-8 overall.
So that means they're invincible in whiteout games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it is annoying. It really is annoying because you hear these people act as if, oh, Michigan got lucky that they're not playing Penn State at night. This whiteout, and it's like I've watched Penn State playing whiteout games, and listen, it's a great environment. I'm not going to knock it. It looks amazing on TV, and I bet it's loud, and I bet it's everything that you think it should be. But it doesn't help. It obviously doesn't help them win games. It's not like a lock that they're going to win the game. I mean, they're 8-6 or 10-8, and I think the 8-6 part is thrown in like full stadium. So, like, if COVID or something else happened, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, you would think that they're 18-0, and oh my God, this whiteout. Michigan's so lucky it's at noon, and they don't have to do this whiteout game. It's just like, shut up.
So let's go back to let's jump back and forth in this segment here, man. Let's look at the matchups. So Michigan, do you like my Wolverine over there?
I love
Michigan. Yeah, Yeah, love that. Gotta love that. So, in QB, would you agree that Michigan is, superior over Penn State?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about? Oh, that is wrong. Okay, give me a second.
sure.
I'm going. I'm going to fix that.
Okay.
Um, but let's talk about the Penn State nut riding job that the that the media heads are doing right now. I'm talking ESPN. You alluded to it a little bit. Josh Pate, Feinbaum on 3. I mean, come on, man. And all the Penn State and FBS podcasters, man, they're finding a way
Yeah.
to have Penn State ride a miracle hope drug that's going to allow them to be successful versus the Michigan Wolverines. Oh, Singleton hasn't really been good this year, but he's going to be great versus Michigan.
I know.
And, you know, Aller hasn't thrown the ball, past 50 yards all season, but he's going to be great versus Michigan. And the wide receivers can catch a 40-yard route to save their life, but they're going to be great versus Michigan.
Right.
What do you think, man? Talk to me about the nut riding job that
Well,
these media analysts are doing versus, talking about this mythical Penn State team that's going to come through on a white horse.
right.
With
I'll
the
be honest, man.
with the white cleats on. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think it's funny because they talk about how Michigan, their schedule's so weak. But let's just look at a common opponent. Now, listen, most of the time, I think transitive property stuff like, oh, we beat you, so this way we're good, and we play the same teams, but we outscored this team that, and we're better, and all that. Most of the time I don't really care about it, but I think it makes for an interesting, device against this weak schedule. Like
Right.
Michigan played Indiana, and so has Penn State. Now, Penn State needed a last-minute deep pass that Indiana cornerback misplayed for them to have a long touchdown run to win, or a touchdown pass to win that game. Tom Allen played for the tie, it looked like, if you were to watch that game. Outside of that, Indiana gave it to Penn State at Penn State, and Penn State barely won that game. Now, Michigan played Indiana at home and beat the ever-living piss out of them 52-7. Now, you want to do transitive property. If weak opponents, well, one weak opponent, we put 52 on them, and Penn State barely got 20-something on them, 27 points or something like that. Allowing also 24 points. I can't remember the final score, but you want to talk about transitive property. You want to talk about weak schedule. You want to talk about all this. Well, let's look at some examples, and we'll see who actually didn't look good and who actually looked the way they should against a weak team.
No, I agree. And this is, I was doing some advanced scouting.
Yeah.
Connor Stallion gave me some tickets.
Dang.
And I was doing some advanced scouting.
Yeah.
Stallion style, baby. I heard you got some too. I don't know how that links us to Jim Harbaugh, but maybe it does. Right. So we're doing, I was looking at the Indiana game versus Penn State.
Right.
And man, if I didn't see some weak sisters in that variety, man. And if you want to talk about common opponent and how you would measure what Michigan looked like versus a common opponent versus what Penn State looked like versus our common opponent,
yeah,
they looked like they was ready for the bubble bath and a rubber ducky.
True.
And if it wasn't for a couple of breaks that went their way, like the muff punt and a couple of other things, Indiana might have served them up real nice.
Well, I mean, they were driving the ball, and Tom Allen basically went for the field goal for the tie instead of going for the win. And they've been putting pressure on Penn State's defense all game long. And that quarterback is nowhere near the quarterback JJ was or is. And that kid can move and dump the ball and do everything that he could. And he was eating up Penn State's defense. So what do you think?
The same two kids that gave us smoke in that game were the same two kids that gave Penn State smoke.
Oh,
44 44 and number 4. And
Yeah,
they were in there culo all game
dude.
long. And
That
I was
number,
like, wow.
yeah, that
You
number
know,
4 is for real. That
yeah.
number 4 is impressive.
And 44.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. No,
like a
that.
hybrid linebacker DN.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
them dudes come to play. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I wouldn't be
44 for
listen,
sure.
I wouldn't be shocked to see either one of them in the pros.
Oh no, I think 44 is a lock to go to the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. That
Yes,
kid
sir.
is unbelievable. And I wish I could remember his name. That kid, some Aaron, or I can't remember, but the kid is really good. I
Yeah,
mean,
he can.
big, fast, anticipates well. I mean, side to side movement's great. Like the kid is talented.
Yeah, he can transfer here next season if he
Well, I
likes.
think he's a 6-year senior or something like
Oh,
that.
is he? Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was just a
yeah.
joke. That
Because
was
I had
just a joke anyway.
no, dude, I had the same thought, dude. I was like, transfer portal it out, baby. Come on.
Yes, sir. Can we get him a COVID year? Let's go.
Serious. That would be
So,
sweet.
so let's look at the matchups, man. So I'm sorry about the way it turned out before,
Yeah.
but here we go. So we got matchups. So we got, of course, you know, we lead in the quarterback comparison, and no talking bobblehead will tell you any different. What about the running back room? Because that was a toss up for me. The running back room. At first, I kind of thought it was a wash, but then I thought our upside is better than Penn State's upside. What do you think?
I think I'll be honest. I think the it all depends on Donovan Edwards. I think we we have more talent. I do. I think we barely edge them out. But if he keeps getting ankle tackles, I don't know. But they haven't been. Man, that's the one that gets me though. The running back one and then the tight end one really get me all flustered when it comes to Penn State because Singleton's really good and Allen's really good, but they're like 8. If you had to level them out, there'd be like an 8, and I think ours are 9 and 10s. So it's minuscule the difference, but that's when it comes down to execution. Like which one's going to show out.
Right. So what about wide receiver? I think the way they're playing currently, Michigan edges them at wide receiver. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think only because that Cephas kid has not really panned out the way they thought. They got him from Kent State, and they thought he was going to be the deep threat, big-bodied receiver that they had been looking for.
Right.
And I don't think he's really – I mean, he had a good game against Maryland, but, I mean, it's Maryland. It's Maryland in November. Maryland in November can't do shit right. So, I mean, what really does that prove? I think with the way CJ's playing, with obviously the way Roman's playing at this point, and then you throw in Samaj Morgan, I think right there, Samaj puts us over the top in that wide receiver group. I think his big playability, comparatively, I don't think Penn State has anything on there remotely as good as Roman or Samaj. And then you nail it down with CJ,
Yeah, man, we got people on YouTube. Let us know what you think. Does Michigan's wide receiver room edge Penn State's wide receiver room? Let's go back to the matchups. Tight end. I think. Oh, my bad. Wrong one. Right one. Tight end. I think is clearly better than Penn State, only because I think we do more with our tight ends. Our tight ends are the Batmans of our team.
Yeah.
They're our utility group. They do a little bit of everything. They're blocking fullbacks. They're H backs. They're third down receivers. They do a little bit of everything. And now that Barner is in the mix, and of course we're getting a lot out of Bredesen as a fullback, as it were, and an H back. I think our tight end room is above and beyond what Penn State can do. Your thoughts?
Oh, well, I think leveling alone is better than Theo Johnson and that Tyler Warren. I mean, they're sneaky. They have they find a way to get open, those tight ends. The one that worries me, not in the fact that he's the most talented, but he's like invisible. People forget about this kid, and it's their third tight end, Dinkins. Or Dinkus. No, Dinkins, I think his name is.
Dinkins, yeah, Dinkins is his name.
They do some trick stuff with him, and I've seen it throughout the season because I religiously watch Penn State and Ohio State just so I know what they're doing, and I hate them, but you got to know if you're going to have a channel or any type of show whatsoever, you got to know what your enemies are up to.
Right.
So this Dinkins kid, I mean, he's nowhere near as good as the other two, but people forget about him. So then he finds himself wide open. So that would worry me. Like I would
And
hate for us.
that wide openness showed itself during the Indiana game. But I
Yes,
thought, but I thought that was more of a mental lapse than anything else.
I hope so. I really do.
Because
Like,
he was a slot receiver. So how are you not going to cover a slot receiver in today's
agreed.
game?
Well, I mean, and to be honest, I mean, Loveland by far and away is the far superior tight end in all of
Hmm.
this. And then, Barner shows that he can block and he can run routes and catch, man. And I do think that we have the better room, but it's not by a lot. But I mean, I think if you're looking for big plays, I think our tight ends are more capable of a big 30-yard play than theirs is.
Yes, sir. Now, I don't think there's even a thought about O line.
Right.
I think the inside of our O line, from maybe Zinter on out to Barnhart is way better than what Penn State can produce. What about D line?
Oh
There's
yeah.
an argument. There's an argument with all of the mythical, dominant D talk for Penn State. Whose defensive line is actually better? And in the matchup, if Chop doesn't play, whose D line is better?
Well, I'll
Talk
be
to me.
honest. I think Penn State has a good defensive line because Manny Diaz blitzes the fuck out of every team. So
Mm,
it allows them
mm.
better matchups. I think if you were just to go man on man, hat on hat, and let's just get in a phone booth and let's see who wins against any other offensive line, I think we do it all the time. I think Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant and just in the middle alone, even Chris Jenkins, we have the talent to go one on one without having blitzing to help us. We can get pressure from our defensive tackles where they need the help of a blitz and schemes to get their guys to make. And granted, they do very well at it. I'm not here to say that they suck because their defensive line got after Ohio State. It got after them, but that was more of their defensive ends really eating up those tackles, which kind of makes me worry because our offensive line last week didn't look good on the tackle part. That would be the only thing that would worry me. Other than that, I think O line. I think we're better, and then I definitely think we're better defensive end. I mean defensive line. I don't even think it's close.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get you back in here so we can check out this particular piece together.
Okay,
Um, let me bring it back in.
sure.
Yeah, but go ahead. So another piece that we could talk about. I think our defensive line is better.
Yeah.
Hands down, I think our defensive line is better. I think we're built better. I think we're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are basically an NFL defensive line just without the NFL jersey.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, and Jenkins in the middle, those are 300 pounders, bona fide 300 pounders that can move. And when you started talking about Mason, I wanted to show a picture of him, working with the club. So I'm gonna run this again, but
Okay.
go ahead if you want to add to that.
No, I agree. I think everything we do on the defensive line, I would really expect Mason Graham to have one hell of a game coming up. Um, he is just so hard to like. It's so hard to get him sideways, and if you're going to run well against a defensive tackle, you got to get him sideways, which make him, thinner so you can get past him. And he's so good at keeping leverage and being able to move. I mean, it comes from his wrestling background, which I would assume.
Right.
But he's just, I mean, so good. I expect a really big game from him this week.
Yes, sir. And playing Division I ball myself, um, and I wrestled in high school, and that adds tremendously to your leverage and
Yeah.
even your hand skills. Like
Oh,
your
for sure.
techniques, your
Mhm.
techniques and your hand skills are just
Yeah.
beyond reproach because there's the club.
Yeah.
Did you catch it or you need me to
Oh
rewind
no,
it?
I saw it.
Okay, great. Yeah, man. So, Mason Graham, I'll let this cycle through and you and I can continue talking. So, yeah, man. So, we're talking about matchups here and we're going to continue on. I think we're even in the linebacker department.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why in a little bit.
Okay.
What's your thoughts? You think we're
Uh,
even or you think it's a wash or do you think that they have an edge?
no, I think it's a wash. I mean, I think on any given day that either one of those that position group can shine. I don't. I definitely don't think they can. I don't think they outdo us. I definitely think it's even
Yeah. I like how Mike Barrett has come on as of recent.
for sure.
And this is right around the time of year when he starts to do that, when he starts to
Hmm.
get a little more comfortable with scheme and he could just be
Right.
aggressive. There you go. Him and Junior Colson putting the crunch on. I love the hit factor that I'm seeing out of those dudes this year versus last year.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think it's a wash. But I do think that Mikey Barrett may have an edge and also Harrell may have an edge when it comes to coverage. But we'll see
Oh,
this weekend when they have to cover those tight ends for
yeah.
Penn State. But I remember last year Mike Barrett had the 2 interceptions versus Rutgers because they
Right.
thought they could get it past them in those little underneath routes, and he
Well,
wound up
and then
picking
Harrell did a good job against Ohio's tight end.
right Stover.
Yeah.
Correct,
So
correct.
him and Mikey, but for the most part, Harrell did a pretty good job last season.
Yeah, that's why I said we got some people, man. Underrated our linebacker group, but we got some people. And of course, Junior Colson is just a tackling machine. If he's not making a tackle, he's helping with the tackle.
For
We
sure.
love that. So we got a lot of people watching. We're blasting off to 5 Facebook channels. We're blasting off to WXXR Radio 100.9 FM in Rochester, New York. We're blasting off to YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, as my 8-year-old cousin likes to say. These are Michigan pictures. I'll cycle through them again. You're on the Big House Breakdown with Michigan from Adam Rant. So we are going over the statement game. So let's talk about it. Let's get right to it. The reason why I said there was poor game analysis is because I put back on my coach's hat.
Yeah.
I've coached football. I coached high school football for a really long time. I worked out with I coached the strength and conditioning program at my college. So I have a fair amount of coaching experience. I wouldn't say I'm not ready to be a Minnesota coach, but if they ring, I'll answer. I like money, I like Gucci suits,
I got you.
So I put back on my coaching hat. I started scouting Penn State, and that dominant defense didn't look so dominant when I
Right.
started letting the tape run. And what do I mean by that? A lot of weak sisters in this group, man. A lot of weak sisters in this group. So let's go right to it. Their offensive line, man.
Yeah.
Their offensive line, man. 64, their center cannot handle stunts and combo blitzes. Agree or not?
Good luck then if you're going to try and go up against Graham.
So if Junior Colson and Graham are running a combo stunt on 64, we're going to be in Aller's lap, immediately.
It's a wrap, dude. Graham himself could eat up that dude by himself. Like, I don't see. Yeah, dude. I just.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Graham is our 1 technique, and Jenkins is our 2 technique, right?
Well, yeah, but you know what's funny is last week I think it was I saw Graham out at the edge as well.
Really?
Yeah, dude. They put
Wow. He was out.
everywhere.
He played a 5 or did he play a 3?
No, I think he played the 5.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know. He can move though. He's
Oh
not.
yeah.
He's
That's
not a 300-pound bowl of jelly. That man can move.
Yes,
Right?
he can, dude. He absolutely.
Yeah, man. And for all the smoke, Fashano can be beat.
Yeah.
I watched the end of that Ohio State game,
Uh-huh.
right? And JTT was in his lap. JTT was blowing past that guy and
Yeah.
causing a lot of problems. So for all of the, vaunted NFL talk,
Right.
he could be got. I think our defensive ends can. I think Josiah Stewart has the speed to get past that kid.
Well, don't be shocked if he has a great game. That was one, to be honest, I would think pressure-wise, you're probably going to see Stewart and Derek Moore, I think, in my opinion, are going to have two. They're going to be up, out. They're going to be on Allard quick.
So what you're listening to right now is you listen to Michigan from Adam from Michigan Football Rants, and you're listening to the Big House Breakdown, and we're talking about strategy and weak links that's going to lead Michigan to a flawless victory over the Penn State Nittany Lions, or the Cootie Cats, like I like to call them. So we got 23 Hardy. Now he's supposed to be their slot guy,
right?
And I saw him versus Indiana and versus Ohio State get cooked.
Yeah.
I seen him get worked. I'm not saying he's not a tough kid. He's a tough kid. But I seen him get that work put on him. What do you think?
Well, defensively, I think he can be had. The only thing that worries me about him is his ability to return punts. I mean, the kid's got a nose for the end zone, and that's the only thing that really worries me about him at all. I think in just defensively, we can scheme against him and we can abuse him. But when it comes to special teams, is the one thing where that kid actually worries me quite a bit.
So I saw the safety Cam, and I saw the corner Dixon. I saw them get their lunch money taken.
Yeah.
Versus Ohio State. But what's interesting about them getting their lunch money versus Ohio State, because that's Marvin Harrison Jr. Right. I saw Roman Wilson run the same route and eat off of that himself.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to have a long day when they're trying to cover Roman Wilson, because I mean they had a hard time with Indiana's wide receivers.
Right. So if we can motion Wilson into a matchup with 3, I think we got an advantage there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I love the motion where he motions halfway and then he comes running back, and that right there I think could be huge plays off of that right there. I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of look to abuse that pass rush. Well, the blitz more than likely.
Yeah, and what I also caught wind of was the fact that Penn State's linebackers, depending on how you scheme it, if you have that nickel in there or if you have a true weak side linebacker, I saw a lot of Ohio State running backs catching passes out of the backfield against Penn State because what is his name? Rivera, the defense coordinator?
Manny Diaz.
Diaz, sorry. Diaz. I'm thinking of Rivera, the NFL head coach. But
right.
Yeah. Diaz is bringing them through the front 7, and then the backs are slipping out the way that Donovan Edwards likes to do. I think he could be a big factor in the passing game.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he could be a really big factor. I'm not in love with the way that Penn State calls their 3rd and short plays. I think there's a lot to be desired there.
Right.
And then one thing that I saw that was kind of peculiar that I thought would be an edge for us is I saw King get ate up by Stover over the middle as a tight end. And I said Loveland would pick his teeth with that kid.
Oh,
if King covers him the way he covered Stover, it's a wrap. What do you think?
No, absolutely. And that's if Stover had great success against Penn State, I don't see why Loveland or even Barner just can't pick them apart.
Right.
We provide so many matchup problems for Penn State.
Right.
Just in how fast we are, or just I mean, who's a better route running tight end than Loveland? I don't think there is one.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
we got a comment. Hold on, let me put the comment on. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. The game day is tomorrow, bro. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the comment. Game day is tomorrow. So yeah, we're
right.
going tomorrow. Noon kickoff. You know, Gus Johnson and Joe Klatt and all of the goofballs will be, you know, will be on hand and on attendance. In attendance. Let's see. What else? 51. Okay. Now let's talk about this, okay? Because I seen it versus and I went back and checked it because I didn't want to give anybody false information, okay?
Right.
51 Hakeem. I think he's the weak sister on the defensive line.
Okay. I'll be honest. I have not.
Okay, let me pull up our lads and get his full name. And they actually took him out.
Huh.
They actually took him out during the Ohio State game. And okay, there's the Penn State Kitty Cats. All right. And then 51 Hakeem Beeman.
Okay. I'll be honest.
He
I don't
wears
know
number
that.
50. Yeah, he wears number 51, and they jockey him in between like a 1 technique and a 3 technique.
Okay.
And every time that they ran power, they ran right off the left side, right on the right side of Penn State's defensive line. And I think that's the position that Chop was supposed to be playing, if I'm not mistaken. And that kid got worked. He got worked. And I mean, it was obvious. And there was one goal line particular thing that I don't know why Ohio State didn't just keep going there with Williams.
Right.
And then Michigan ran that same power last week versus Purdue, and that's the play that everybody keeps running on Sports Center with Blake and the pulling guards on that power coming around the end. So I said, man, if we can get that power coming around the end with Bredesen and Keegan, they in trouble, man.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, man. So check it out if you get a chance. Everybody in TV land, everybody watching this broadcast right now, check that out. Go back, watch the couple of weeks ago, the Ohio State film, and then watch the film against Indiana, and you will see that's exactly where those two teams ran when they wanted to have success versus Penn State. So, and guess what? I saw a lot of inconsistencies in the secondary.
Oh, okay.
You know how many blown coverages I seen?
Well, I could only imagine because both of those
three versus Ohio State, 2 versus Indiana.
I was going to say both of those big touchdown plays were blown coverages against Indiana. So yeah, it doesn't shock me one bit.
So if you man to man on Roman,
yeah,
and you call a blitz and your safety and your corner goes, that's good night, Irene, man. That's 6 to the house.
Yeah, good luck. You ain't catching him. It ain't happening.
Right.
It ain't happening.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I saw a lot of inconsistencies and I saw a lot of chinks in the armor, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
If you push the pocket, Allah will rattle and he will throw erratic passes that may lead to turnovers. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think the watching, especially that Ohio game, that's why I think Derek Moore and Stewart are going to have big games because Ohio State, I mean, Penn State got plenty of pressure on McCord through their tackles, and then also Penn State couldn't stop Ohio State's defensive ends either. So I definitely think you get up in Aller's face, you get him pressure from the sides, get him worried, have him step up, and you're going to see, you know, Graham or Grant really shut it down right in the middle. So I love it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen because I agree. I think our blitz from the outside is going to create more plays for Graham and Grant to eat.
I don't think. Do you think if it turns into a shootout, that Alar is the dude for the job?
No,
So let's
because I
say it
don't think
turns
they
into
trust
a high scoring affair. JJ throws 3, he throws
him.
2. We're in the middle of the third. We might have about a 14-point lead or so, and it depends on who is matching whose score throughout the pace of the contest.
Yeah.
Do you think Alar is built for that sort of battle?
I don't think this year. I don't think he is. Not that I don't think he's talented. I think the kid's crazy talented. I think he's new. He's I mean, he's basically a sophomore, I guess, right? Or because I don't think he redshirted last year. But I mean, he's a sophomore getting his first start, and I don't think he's going to have enough time to sit back and throw the ball deep.
Mm,
I just don't think he's going to have the time. So, yeah, I guess you can try, but you sit back there for 3 seconds, you're going to be on your ass, or you're going to be feeling the pressure coming right at you, and you're going to start seeing ghosts. So,
Now, what I saw that he has a penchant for
yeah,
is he can get out of the pocket a little bit and
yeah,
deliver the ball. But I
true.
don't like his receivers on scramble drills. I don't think they do enough for him to help him out. I don't think they
Right.
create enough separation, and I don't think they do enough. And I think it's because they brought the young kid in, and then they got the young kid in, and they got the transfer in.
Yeah.
So I'm not really seeing the separation or while they're doing a scramble drill. I don't see them kind of working to help their quarterback out.
I don't.
I saw a lot of erratic throws from him
Oh,
in the scramble moments.
for sure. I think I think that, to be honest, I think Penn State was a better, or at least more dangerous team when they had Sean Clifford. Because Sean Clifford could move and throw on the run, and I don't think Alar has shown that yet, or Aller has shown that yet. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, he can move, but he's not as mobile as JJ, and um, I don't know. We'll see. That's the beauty of this. I don't know what's going to go on, but I'm excited.
Now, to his credit, he's a big kid and he looks the part.
Oh, he's big, all right.
I don't think he's going to turn into Caleb Williams overnight against our defense.
God, no, not against ours.
Yeah, I think Penix and Caleb Williams might keep their teams in the game
Yeah,
versus us. But I don't think, or even the kid out of Oregon, but I don't think he's got the tools to do that. And I think there's a lot of chinks in the armor, and I think there's they're dressing this Penn State team up to go to the prom real nice.
oh yeah,
They putting a nice shiny Gucci shoes on them, and
yeah.
they getting dressed real pretty. They're gonna come in the white horse and save the magistry and pageantry of college football with a win over the bad guy Michigan Wolverines. What's your thought, man? Let's talk about scores and predictions. Let's get to it.
All right.
Game prediction and national impact. So we want a flawless victory for the Michigan Wolverines. What do you think Michigan has to do to win the game against Penn State overall?
Well, I think Michigan just needs to do what Michigan does. And the one thing that worries me, and that they can't allow to have happen, is any mistakes in the special teams. Because that's one thing that I think Penn State does better than we do. And it worries me because in a couple games this season, Michigan has completely put their head up their own ass when it's come to the special team game. And you can't do that against a team like Penn State, who you're probably 10 points better than just at your worst. So you can't allow them to get like free touchdowns or good field position off of really good returns, or you can't have the ball hit you in the back and then give them, first down on your own 30. You can't put our defense in that kind of position against Penn State and then be shocked if we are in a much tighter game or even lose a game. So the special teams is what worries me. But if Michigan just plays flat on special teams and doesn't do anything amazing, doesn't do anything bad, and just plays a zero-sum game when it comes to special teams, I think if Michigan just goes out and do what we've done to every other team, we're 14 points or more better than Penn State, in my opinion.
Now I have a little theme or a little kind of like strategy that I think Michigan can use.
Yeah,
And it's not something that is out of pocket. I just think we need to do it. We did it versus Rutgers. We did it versus Nebraska. And
yeah,
that's just run the stew out of that ball.
yeah,
And the things that we've been struggling a little bit with, which is our tackles blocking real frisky defensive
uh-huh,
ends that get a good jump. If we're predominantly running the ball 3 yards in a cloud of dust and eating up that clock and play action with JJ
hmm,
and the tight ends and Roman, I think we'll win that game comfortably. And if our defense can get Aller or Alar, however you want to say it,
yeah,
if we could get him to turn the ball over and get a short field,
yeah.
and
Well, I
and we
mean,
can go ahead.
oh no, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, that was the thing. I think we need to go back to, a heavy dose. Like I remember they said about a third quarter or so in the Rutgers game, we had 50 carries.
Damn.
So I think that is the remedy, because even though they play well collectively as a defense, I think they wear out. And I
Yeah,
think where I scouted with them during the Ohio State game was just that. I think they got worn out because
yeah,
when they started running Williams off that left side of the offensive line, right at that right tackle,
yeah.
that Beeman, that whole side collapsed, and they just walked down the field. They just matriculated down the field, and then Marvin Harrison took care of the rest.
I mean, I could definitely see it. I definitely think JJ is going to have a big part to play in this run game because
Oh, for sure, for sure.
yeah. So yeah, I think you give him a, and now we have Khalil Mullings back, so you basically have a four-headed monster when it comes to this rush attack. So we could potentially wear them down. I think they're going to do everything in their power though to stop it, just because last year still haunts them. I bet over 400 and 16 yards rushing against them. So
Yeah,
it
they
wouldn't.
said they put it up. They said they put that number up all over their building.
So they're gonna do everything they can. But okay, fine, stop the run and then watch JJ eat you alive with passes to Loveland and Wilson and everything. And you go to stop that, and then in the third and fourth quarter, watch us hit some big runs, and it's just over.
I would love to see a screen to Edwards,
Oh, that'd be good.
off of a play fake, um, and get him out in the open, get him out in space, and just let him work. I would love to see that.
That,
And
man,
I don't think we should reinvent the wheel.
right.
If Blake and Mullings are eating between the tackles, let them eat.
Hmm.
I think if Edwards is catching the ball well this season, let him do well what he's doing well. Don't put him in a role he
Right.
hasn't really played well, which is pounding the ball. Let
Yeah.
him eat. Let him eat in space. Motion him out to stretch out that defense,
Hmm.
and then keep pounding the rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how Penn State stops us because you have Khalil and you have Corum that can beat you up in the middle. You can put Edwards out, and then you could potentially have Edwards, Samaj Morgan, and Roman Wilson out there. All three have huge big play potential. And Lovely. I mean, in my opinion, we have too many weapons for Penn State's defense to stop with, especially how much they love to blitz.
And the chemistry that we have with Tyler Morris, and JJ.
Oh, true. But I mean, there's just too much there
Yeah,
offensively. I
yeah,
don't see. And then you have a quarterback that if you get him on the run, throws better maybe on the run than he does standing still.
right.
So this just seems like it's just too much for Penn State to hold us back for too long.
And then they just pissed us off by suspending a coach. Here we go.
Right.
So
And
let's
then
talk about it, man. Let's talk about it real quick. If Penn State wins, what's the impact nationally?
man, if Penn State wins, get ready for sign stealing. They can't beat the big boys if they don't steal signs. Harbaugh is a cheater, everything you could possibly think of when it comes to Michigan and everything they've accomplished up to this point from 2021 till now is all going to be thrown out the window because of sign stealing and all this bullshit if we don't win.
What about the potential three-way tie in the Big Ten?
I think it could happen because I think that let's say God forbid we lose this, we still have to play Ohio State and we beat Ohio State. But I'll be honest, man, if that comes down, I don't know how Michigan gets any love whatsoever.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, it's going to go strength of schedule or fuck, man, who knows? The Big Ten might just rewrite all the rules and be like, hey, if we decide if there's a three-way tie, we'll decide who goes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know what the rules are on that. But
right, because they're breaking the rules right now by deciding when the NCAA didn't decide anything, right?
Right. So what would stop them from just saying, hey, Michigan, I mean, I know this is obviously we're just talking shit, but I mean, Big Ten could be like, well, I don't care if you win all your games. We'll just say you can't go to the Big Ten title game. And you're like, I don't know, man. I just can't even. I don't even want to open it up to the universe to even remotely think about Michigan losing this game.
I just think we're better on the offensive line and defensive line, and that's just going to show itself. But let's just say for shits and giggles, if this happens, if Penn State loses, does Franklin lose his job?
No, because of Michigan. Once again, they'll use Michigan's cheating and science and it'll buy him some time. But
so do you think that's the universal out for all of the Big Ten coaches?
Yeah. All year.
Universal out. He was cheating. That's my out. You can't fire me. He was cheating. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Matt Rule. Matt Rule, before all this really got heated, was like, well, yeah, science stealing's just a thing. And, we try to do it. They try to do it when we're, looking at the other person's sideline, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, just last week, he's like, well, we had 2 bad calls and 2 of our losses. Oh, and then a team scouted us. You're like, give me a fucking break, dude. Like, you got your ass beat by 50 fucking points. Dude, and you got lucky to even score that last touchdown because we had our 3rd or 4th string people in. Like, give me a break. And if he's using it as an excuse, I mean, I can't even imagine what James Franklin's going to do. Or Ryan Day's going to do. Like, who knows? Those two aren't going to be like, oh, yeah, we lost fair and square. Ain't no way.
No way. Right. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about it, man. Does Franklin get an attaboy if he wins? If he wins, does he get the ultimate attaboy from the Big Ten and all of the collusionist?
Oh, get ready for this. Yeah, get ready for ESPN to exalt him like he's David and he took out Goliath.
Right.
They're going to blow it up like, oh my God, this is amazing. They lost to Ohio State and then they really soul searched and they pulled together as a team.
How about it?
Against a team that cheated and probably knew their signals, they beat them and James Franklin deserves all the credit in the world. And,
I'm almost seeing it. I'm seeing the motion picture right now.
Yeah. Remember the Titans times 12.
Exactly. Now let's put some positive energy back into the universe. Let's talk about Michigan winning. And you see my man there with flipping the bird, right? Yeah. You see my Michigan guy flipping the bird. So I think it puts the FBS on notice, and I think it shuts up a lot of Michigan haters. What say you?
Oh, yeah, I think especially if we beat them and like literally beat them by 2 scores, 3 scores, whatever, right? I think people can just suck it because what are they going to say? Because then we even blow out the whole transitive property baloney that people love to do and be like, well, Ohio State beat them 20-12. Well, if Michigan puts 40 on them and they win like 40-13 or something crazy, what are you going to say now? Because there's no way in hell we cheated and got the signals or whatever. So what are you going to say? I'm sure they'll try and come up with something, but you legitimately have to just shut the F up and have to admit that Michigan is for real.
I think Penn State D-line is very small in some areas.
Yeah.
And I think that if we make the game easy on our offensive line by saying, don't worry about, slide protection and don't worry about, block and chop. Just put your hand in the ground and bully them upfield all day.
Yeah.
Get comfortable, get set, look them in the eye. No, they don't want no part of that. They don't want no part of Keegan and Zinter. They don't want no Nugent. They don't want no part of that. Get them hands to start stinging in the third quarter. Get the elbows and the forearms start stinging in the third quarter, and then you start whiffing on a lot of tackles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we could put 40 on Penn State.
Oh, it wouldn't shock me.
I think we can. I think we can. I tell you what, if we put up 14 points in the first quarter against Penn State, it's going to be a 40 burger. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's two games and two teams that really made me think about how important a good quarterback is. Watch the Penn State game against Indiana, like we've been talking about. If that kid was JJ, if JJ played for Indiana, Indiana probably would have won that game.
Oh, absolutely. And I was thinking that exact thing. Not now, but as I was watching the game, because I was saying what we would do a hell of a better job than what they did at what they do.
Yeah,
things that were open to them in that game, we would have totally took advantage of that.
Absolutely. And then Rutgers too, playing against Ohio last week. If that kid could throw the ball and actually hit the broadside of a barn, they could have been up 21-7 on Ohio in the first half of that game. So you have JJ throwing to that team with Rutgers. Rutgers probably beats Ohio.
Yeah,
or
that's
at
part
least
of
loses a close one, and it's not a blowout. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's a BigHouse Breakdown. People, stay tuned for that. That's in the Ohio State breakdown coming up very soon.
Yeah.
So let's go back to it because we're getting ready to close out.
Cool.
I think if Michigan wins, Zero State people start booking therapy appointments, man.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? I think it's going to be a run on therapists in Ohio if we beat Penn State, because now they're going to be like, Methuselah coming,
Dude, Ohio State and Michigan State fans, their heads will explode.
Yeah.
If we put it on Penn State, but if not, boy, they're going to be partying in the streets like they won a national title if Michigan loses to Penn State.
Well, that's not going to happen. I just think we outmatched them.
Yeah,
in too many categories.
Yeah, I
agree. DB, I think we're better, at least this year.
Yeah,
because we're able to turn the ball over more. We're a little more headier on the football than I think they are. Yeah. Even though they have a fair amount of interceptions themselves. And I think athletically we're even. So if athletically we're even, what's the tiebreaker? Coaching.
Yeah. And
your thought. What do you think, man? Who's better? Who's better coaching?
Well,
Franklin or Harbaugh and the crew? What do you think?
Harbaugh by far. I mean, Franklin will always do something stupid that will ultimately cost his team the game. Like that, they were driving the ball last year on us, or no, 2 years on us, 2 years ago in Happy Valley, and they went for that fake field goal bullshit.
Yeah.
And which turned the tide of the game, and Michigan then took the lead. But it's just like he'll inevitably do something dumb, and I'm here for it. I love it when Bald Franklin decides to do something stupid and gets himself into some trouble. I think Harbaugh by far is a much better coach, and I think we have better assistants.
Yeah, man, like motioning all of your on third down and short, you're motioning all your people in the backfield. You got that power eye shotgun crap in the backfield that looks like the wishbone offense from Pee Wee League, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you're
right.
motioning your receivers in and out of the backfield on 3rd and short. And I'm like, what is this dude doing? I don't know
Agreed.
what he's doing.
Agreed.
You do it, yeah, man. You do it under center, and then you do that powerhouse crap in the shotgun. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Come on.
Hmm.
I'm like, you know, like if see ball, get ball. If you make it that easier for Junior Colson and the rest of these dudes, it's lights out, man. I just don't
Yeah,
see it. I just don't see it. Ben Herbert has done too good of a job
yeah,
building these dudes up to be, really core base, really strong Division One athletes, ready with endurance, ready to go the long haul for us to get beat on a power play. I mean,
true.
and all they really want to do is run off tackle because they don't want to run up the middle. They can't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I agree. I think
Yeah, they
absolutely
got Care Bears in the middle of that offensive line.
for
So
sure.
what are you gonna do, man? I'm so itching for tomorrow. It's crazy. Um, Lastly, before we get out of here, if we win this game, is
Mhm.
JJ undeniable for Heisman? Let's say JJ has a big part. Let's say JJ gets 2 throwing and 2 running, and we walk away with this thing by 17, which I think we're gonna do.
Oh yeah,
And if we get a turnover, I think we walk away with this thing with even more. Um, what do you think?
yeah.
Is JJ a lock for the Heisman,
I
regardless of all of the scandal talk?
I think if you remove all the scandal talk and you just talk about performances, I think if he does that if he has big performances against Penn State and Ohio, I think he is a lock to beat in New York. The only thing that I assume would hurt him is only that Michael Penix throws the ball so much more and has so many more yards that the uneducated uh, voter for the Heisman, I think, would choose him. And not that Michael Penix is a bad choice. The kid is, I mean, a great quarterback. I'll give it. I mean, very impressive. But I think the overall thing that JJ does is, to me, more important. The leadership role of it, the running, the passing, the just everything he brings to the table, I think, is more impressive, and I think more suiting of an old school Heisman win. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
what, like the Charlie Wards or the Jameis Winstons or the you know things like that, to where you didn't throw for that much, but your presence on the field was so important to your team's overall uh, like health and success that it was undeniable.
right,
That kind of
right,
stuff.
right. No, I agree. I agree. But I think people like Joel Klatt would give him a lot of credit,
Oh yeah.
and I think Joel Klatt and Cowherd and a lot of other people that kind of give Michigan the BOD
Hmm.
would roll with JJ for Heisman, and I think that would keep him in the conversation, if not move him into a prime position for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thank God for both of those guys throughout this whole thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I can't wait for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a bloodletting.
Yes, can't wait, dude. Dude,
and
I hope.
and I love the way Michigan rallies when they're on the road together and they could block out the crap and just be with each other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like they all share one plate of food and they're mad about it.
Hmm. Well, dude, and
You know
and
what
the
I'm
fact,
saying?
yeah, dude, I agree. I love the fact that they take the power from the crowd and make it their own. Like at
Mm,
Wisconsin, at Nebraska, they don't get nervous. They love to do it. And JJ loves beating teams on the road. So
yes,
he's going to be
yes,
ready to go. I think you're going to
yes,
see prime time JJ tomorrow.
yes. And I can't wait. It's going to be a
Yeah.
great show. Can't wait to see JJ do the Miss America wave to the Penn
Oh,
State crowd.
bro, if we score 40 points on this team,
We will. We will. We will.
woo,
We will. We will.
it,
If we can lock down now, if Chop plays, that makes it a little
yeah,
more interesting.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he'll still just be 65% of what he was. I
Hmm.
think they may pull like an NFL move and be like, listen, we need to kind of we need to put that little juice up in you and get you out there tomorrow.
Yeah, right, dude.
You want to sign this disclaimer? So if we put this juice up in you and
Yeah,
something happens, we don't
they're gonna have
we're
to do,
not liable. You know what I'm
dude.
saying?
They're gonna have to do something, man. Like I don't know what, but they're gonna have to do something. It's
Because I saw Indiana blocked down, and I saw the pin and pull was there for Indiana, and the
yeah,
pin and pull was there for Ohio State, and that's our bread and butter. That pin and pull power.
it's a beauty when it's run right.
I'm telling you, man. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, it's
yeah, yeah.
there. So I hope they got something planned. This was fun. Thanks for jumping on, bro.
Anytime.
Everybody that's at home, thanks for tuning in. Adam, you got the last word. Tell them about your show, where they can catch it, and what you do.
All right, man. Well, my show's the Michigan Football Rant. You can find me on pretty much anywhere where podcasting is. Uh, Actually, if you guys are huge fans of Michigan, download if you an Apple user, download Autograph rewarding fans and use my referral code MFRANT. And it's a place where you can go and you can read MGO blog. You can listen to other podcasts that are on Michigan. Do everything you want Michigan, and they offer things like uh, a discount on a turnover chain that Braylon that McGregor uh, signed, or there's a bunch of different discounts just for being a fan and earning
Yeah.
points by listening to podcasts and stuff like that. So it's great. Anyways, if not, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I'm all over the place. It's Michigan Football Rant. And once again, Vic, it was awesome being on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, same thing here, man. Hey, check him out on Twitter. He has the funniest posts about different things that's going on in FBS, different little controversies, and he has his own unique take on a lot of different things. It's funny as hell. Check
Yeah,
him out.
that Wolf of Wall Street one that I made with Harbaugh. That seems to be people seem to be loving that one a lot.
Yeah. Man, this dude is funny, man. Check his stuff out. It's really creative. Love having him on. Love talking, chopping up ball. Can't wait for tomorrow. Join us. Join Adam. When your joint usually comes out on Wednesday, right?
I do a reaction episode on the game after the game,
Okay.
and then I have a big game pregame every Monday, and then I'll try to get you on, or just do a midweek show. That's if I haven't pissed off my girlfriend, or if I'm not sick. I try to do a midweek show, and then that's about it. About 3 shows a week I try.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're all worthwhile. Check him out. He does quality stuff, funny stuff, good stuff, entertaining. Hope you guys got a lot out of today's episode of the Big House Breakdown, all things Michigan football. And we didn't get to talk much FBS, but this is the game of the week. So we just kept it to Michigan, Penn State, Cootie Cats, like I like to call them. So tune in next Friday when we go again. We're going to do a reaction video Sunday. We're not going to do it Saturday, but we'll do a reaction video Saturday of the Penn State Michigan game. And go blue.
Okay. Go blue.
Peace. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out next time we stream. Take care. Have a good night.